Hello, hi, it's Pearl here, and I've had a really nice night here just at Warren House in Kingston. As you can see, what I love here is they've got this bulb meadow, and it's just gone wild. It's just left wild for the bees and the butterflies, and it's beautiful gardens here and everything. But I think this is my favourite bit. It's so cute. Um, Pictures don't do it justice, so you have to come here and have a look at it. And it's a really nice place to stay as well. It's pretty quiet, apart from it's just got really loud with some work over there. So hey, but it's usually my cue to get going when it gets noisy. So I am flying to Sri Lanka today. I'm very excited. Tonight, really, I've got a lot of things to do. I've got a hospital checkup and that kind of stuff, but I feel very ready to go, which is nice. I've been in London for a couple of days visiting a few friends, and a lot of people I was trying to meet didn't kind of work out, but it was just about the right number of people for me, because after 6 months traveling, it's kind of weird to come back to London, and it's weird to kind of see my friends. It's like, whoa, this was my life, and it's not there anymore. But um, anyway, I wanted to share something with you. I just had a lovely morning here. I actually climbed out the window and did a little meditation yoga thing with some Zumba music and other music with the trees and sundial. It was lovely. But don't tell them here I climbed out the window, because I don't think you're supposed to do that. Don't tell my mum. She kills me off with that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm sure it'd be much easier to climb out windows in Sri Lanka and where else I'm going. But I just wanted to, I had this sort of thought this morning, and I wanted to share this with you and make a note to myself about it, which is one of the hardest parts about this trip. So far, the places I'm going, or I think I'm going, I've got one visa and I have to get another visa, and booking flights was a little bit complicated. If you are going to Sri Lanka, don't trust third-party websites. A lot of the Southeast Asian airlines don't let third-party robots and things check out their flights, so they might look really, really expensive. But if you go to if I'm going to fly, if you go to the direct website, you will often find that you can get a one-way flight or a return much cheaper, and it's really simple. It's actually really simple. I mean, they've got a lot of choices and options, but it's not that complicated. And I've got a return this time because they like you to show that you're going home, because I think they're getting sick of backpackers going and staying for the rest of their life. I booked the flight. Anyway, I just wanted to share one little thing, and I'll do it quick because I've been rambling on, which is the hardest part of this trip really has been 3 days of trying to get the right shoes. And so my first Camino, when I went off, I had these shoes that I bought for Japan before, and they were really hard to find, but they were Echo shoes, and they served me really well. They were destroyed by the end of the Camino. And then my mum said, hey, put these shoes on in the cupboard, they're too small for me. And I wore those for 4 months climbing up mountains, wore my mum's shoes. So I was like, okay, I need to go buy these, because I'm actually going to be trekking in the Himalayas, so I kind of need a decent shoe. And so I tried on every pair of shoes on the high street. It was so hard, and it's there's a big divide in sort of trekking, and I think it's in dance and fitness. So if some people think you need a shoe that gives you loads of support and lifts this and lifts that and that, and other people are much more, hey, you want the least support you can have, because then your ankles get strong and your foot, it's like a barefoot kind of more philosophy. And it's really, for me, I was thinking about the thing of taking what I need, because I feel a bit frustrated. I'm still, my pack for this trip is 38 litres, exactly 38 litres. I've got a 48 litre backpack with 10 litre extra. So I packed it down to 38, and I'm like, when am I going to become this alpine super light backpacker that I think I am, and be able to just go around with a toothbrush? That would be great. So that's kind of part of this trip, is really to kind of, I think this trip I'll be letting go of more things and having more faith that I can find what I need along the way. Maybe I won't be carrying a mosquito net, maybe I won't be carrying all the medical things that I carry, just in case. But I'm working on that. It's kind of, maybe I'm not quite ready to be the alpine backpacker yet. Anyway, coming back to the shoes. I'll show you the shoes. So these are my shoes. Can you see those? They're already kind of... are you seeing? Yes, these shoes. They're Echo shoes again, and I went back and I bought a pair of really high-tech, really high support boots. Took them home to my grandma's, walked around the living room for 5 minutes, got a blister. My first blister in 6 months. And I've had a lot of blisters in the past, with Zumba, when my feet were getting stronger. A lot of people will say, trekking, they go, oh yeah, the blisters, da da da. I know a lot of people who never get blisters, and they don't even wear socks. So maybe I don't even need to wear socks. But the thing is, I spent 3 days, I took those pairs back, I went back, got these Echo ones, because I'm like, hey, they did well for me last time. And I was wearing them and I was like, yeah, these are great, my high trekking shoes. I went, they're exactly like my Zumba shoes. There's very little support inside. They let your feet move. And the thing is, they let my feet and my ankles support themselves. So my ankles are strong. Like if I wobble, if I take a misstep, I can straighten up. So it's kind of weird. I think the whole thing about, my last book is called, which I just finished about the Camino. It's called, the subtitle is Take What You Need. And on this trip, I'm really thinking about trying to find this soft, sweet spot between taking less, but in a way of not just like testing the universe, but it's the spot between testing and trusting. And it's actually the place between testing and trusting myself. Can I go out for a long walk trusting that I will find what I need? Or do I have to take 2 liters of water with me at all times? It's that kind of question. And that's really one of the questions that I'm going out with on this trip. Like, where is that sweet spot? How can I do it? And unfortunately, I think probably the only way to find that sweet spot is to kind of go a little bit too far this way and a little bit too far that way. So, it's really experimenting and finding that place that feels good. But I think what I was thinking about this morning is a really weird feeling of, like with the shoes, that you kind of sometimes need to have less than you need, because on my journey, very often I'll be driving and looking for something, and it's that little side journey of I need a US, my chargers never work. My chargers never, ever work. So I'm always looking for a charger in another country, and it gives me another little journey where I'm looking for something else. And it's needing something that takes me on another little journey. It's trusting, the hotel that they will help me out. It's, saying, hey, somebody help me. I need something. And that's part of the process as well. So sometimes having less than we need is what we need. Like I know a lot of people who I was talking to who have taken the next big step in their journey because they needed the money. Yeah. So actually not having the money was really good for them. And I had that experience last year. I had a lot of financial difficulties, and sometimes not having the money made me go a different way, made me think about things in a different way. And so sometimes the need is what we need. So sometimes I think we have this idea of, hey, when I've made this much money, I'll do this. When I've got this much time, I'll do this. And I always say, don't wait, just do it anyway. Because if you kind of sort of fall forward, you'll find what you need along the way, or it'll work out. As they say in the best exotic marigold hotel, it'll all be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. And sometimes that journey to find the thing that you need or you think you need is really, that's the most important part of the journey. Like I say, I've met a lot of people who've hit like a rock bottom place of desperately needing something, and it's taken them to a really high place, And one of the things I learned, like with mountains and things, is maps are pretty useless. Compasses are pretty useless. I mean, they're great, but they're pretty useless because you go where the road takes you. If there's a road up on a mountain, if there's a path, it doesn't matter if it's going north, east, south, or west. There's one path. It doesn't matter if it's going up or down. You've got to take that path because you don't have a choice. You can, unless you can fly to the next part, you kind of have to go that way. Anyway, so it's just a little food for thought. It's something I'm thinking about at the moment. It's a question I'm asking myself. Maybe I'll answer it in the next book. But it's about finding, when I say take what you need, do you need it, or do you need to have more space? Like in the shoes, do I need to have more space? Do I need to let go of socks? If I let go of socks, are my feet going to be happier and healthier? Am I going to find I don't need to keep moisturizing them so much? I don't need to keep, will they be happier without socks? I don't know. But I think that's something I'm going to experiment with. And sometimes you can only find what's right for you when you have the courage or just the stupidity to kind of experiment and play with something when everyone else has told you, you're crazy, you need to wear socks, you're crazy. Actually, I have to say just one more thing. When I went in the shop and I go into the top shop and I'm like, right, I'm ready for my trekking shoes. I'm going hardcore. He goes, where are you going? I go, I'm going to Bhutan. And he goes, because that is the home of the hardest trek in the world. And he looks at my shoes and he says, well, You know, you need something like really high. He said, because you can't go to 2,000 meters of altitude in those shoes, and you can't climb mountains. I went, that's funny, because I've already been up to 2,000 meters in these shoes. I've already climbed pyramids. I've climbed mountains. I've climbed deserts. I've done everything in those shoes, and they served me well. And they were from Hotter, and the Hotter shoes were excellent. And they have a high top as well. So Hotter's really good, Echo's really good, and they give you space for your feet to move and be supported. Anyway, take care. Somebody's coming round now. They're doing business here. Take care. Think about it. Maybe, maybe not. Bye.